Welcome to 10 TV Plus. Dylan Robichaud alongside Michael Behrens. And Michael, we have two 10 TV weather impact alert days, Saturday and Sunday. One for flooding. Models just came in. We got a new update, and it's looking like that storm has shifted a little bit further to the north.
Yeah, and that means more heavy rain would be pushing into central Ohio, and it's been a while since we've had to deal with these kind of flooding events in our region.
And with all the cold air today, of course, we have a solid ground, so that's going to run off into some of the low-lying areas. So let's hop right into it. All right, we're looking at rain tonight, or Saturday night rather, until about from 7 p.m. until Sunday at 7 a.m. 1 to 2 inches of rain. That's for the metro, though. You head south of the metro, there could be some pockets of maybe 3 inches. Stream flooding could be another possibility as well, especially some of those low-lying areas. And this is all being fueled by a very strong jet stream coming in from the deep south. That's going to really be pushing that moisture heading into tomorrow night, going into the day on Sunday. And we have the flooding potential Saturday night. This is going to be a moderate risk for some of our southern counties down towards Ross County and especially down towards southern Ohio. Right now we have flood watches that have been issued across the region, mainly for tomorrow night going into Sunday. These actually go to Sunday evening here at 4 o'clock, and then some of them actually go to Monday because when you get all that runoff, I mean, there's typically a delay of about 12 to 24 hours until the streams and rivers respond to it. So as we walk you through tomorrow, we are going to be looking at some snow early in the day, 3 o'clock in the morning, tracking that snow. As we head towards 8 o'clock, now we get a brief window of like 30 to 60 minutes of some freezing rain. And then temperatures warm up to the upper 30s to near 40. We have plain old rain. A break in the rain happens at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You look at this, you think, okay, we're done with it. Not so fast, because take a look at this. The heaviest is yet to come. 8 o'clock here on Saturday night, and then heading into Sunday morning very early. The yellow on the map, that right there is a concern. Some very heavy rainfall. We're talking hours of that heavy rain. Then as we head towards Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning, there's that freezing line. Mid to late morning, we switch it on over to snow as we get some colder air kind of feeding in on the back side of that system. How much rain will you get? Well, this is brand new weather model information within the past half hour or so. Down towards Piketon, Chillicothe. I mean, we're pushing 3 inches, folks. 3 inches, if that verifies, that's going to create significant issues, okay? So I want you guys to be prepared for that. Snowfall will be highest further to the north. Bucyrus, Marion, Kenton could be looking at 1 to 2 inches. Lower snowfall amounts as we work our way further on down to the south. And then the other piece of the weather puzzle, the extreme cold. Today was cold. It warms up this weekend, but take a look at Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning. Morning lows will be around 10 degrees. And here comes the cold, the blue on the map, coming in from the upper Great Plains. And here it goes. You can actually track it with me here as it moves further towards the Midwest. We're going to be looking at temperatures well below average heading into next week. 7-day forecast shows that as we head towards next week, we are storm free, but we are closely monitoring a storm system that kind of grazes to our south here late Tuesday night into Wednesday. We could be looking at some light snow across southern Ohio and northern Kentucky, and then that will move off to the east. And then as we get a look here at Thursday, we stay cold, but at least it thaws out a little bit as we start to kind of warm things up. We're definitely mostly concerned, though, about that weather impact Saturday night into Sunday for the potential of rain that will switch on over to snow as we get that colder air.
Yeah, and like you were talking about dealing with the impact alerts this weekend, lots of heavy rain coming down on soil that's really not, able to absorb much moisture.
Yeah, that's the issue too. So again, streams, creeks, if you live near any of that, or if you live in a low-lying area, just be careful.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of those risks this weekend, I do want to highlight some of those different flood alerts that we might actually see going into the weekend. There's several different flood alert types to be aware of. The first one is just a basic flood advisory. This is the lowest level of flood alert. This is for areas of minor flooding, especially low-lying in areas of poor drainage. When you get a flood advisory, the typical areas you're going to find water is, well, areas that are used to it, places where you usually see water pond when a heavy rain comes through. This is not expected to be kind of the major life-threatening type of flood. From there, we get up into an aerial flood warning, which is a life and property threatening situation, a much more serious one. These types of flood waters rise typically over a prolonged period of time, greater than 6 hours, and can exceed those normal areas of of flooding. So this is where you might start to get water into areas that don't normally flood, a much more serious situation than an advisory. From there, the highest level flood warning is the flash flood warning. These are quick, violent developing situations that see water rise rapidly, possibly in minutes to just a few hours across the region. When these types of warnings get issued, if you're in a low-lying area or under the gun, under the notice of that flash flood warning, you need to treat it with urgency and immediately take action to get to higher ground. And then, of course, we also have the typical base flood warning, which is based for a river. If those rivers rise, they can actually stay elevated for days or weeks at a time because, well, you end up in a situation where that water just stays elevated across the region as it continues to drain off from the rain that came down. I'll share these flood tips with you here as well. Always move to higher ground if you're under those flood warnings, and never drive through a flooded roadway. That is the most dangerous kind of situation. Other than heat, flooding, of course, the most deadly type of severe weather.
You can't see how deep it is. That's the issue. People think it's 6 inches deep. You drive through it, ends up being 3 feet. Well, it only takes like 12 inches of moving water to move a vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of flooding is a lot more dangerous than people think, and it's been a while since we had to deal with it here in Central Ohio. And speaking of things that are more dangerous than people think, the ice on the ponds across the region this time of the year is another potential danger out there. And especially as some of this rain comes down, that ice is certainly not likely to be safe. But today we do have new details on an ice rescue that thankfully was successful from back in November.
Hey, honey.
Can you start me at 29, please?
They already did.
Those terrifying moments are from November when 2 London police officers rescued a 5-year-old boy from a creek, and just last night they were honored for their heroism. The London Rotary Club awarded officers Dylan Fout and Denise Dye with Steve Saltzman Award. It's named after a Madison County Sheriff's deputy who died last fall. Saltzman was a member of the Rotary Club, and today, or yesterday, marked the first ever award in Saltzman's honor. It signifies service above self.
So the award in his honor, service above self, and obviously the first responders is very special. The family is very grateful that the Rotary Club created this award, and we're able to honor these 2 officers today.
Officials tell us the little boy the officers rescued has autism and wandered away from home. Officer Fout told us that thanks to his training, he knew to go toward the water to look for the child. And, well, last night they were all reunited with a huge hug. And turning now to California, too much rain too fast is leading to major flooding concerns as an atmospheric river has dropped inches on the region, leading to a muddy mess. And meanwhile, further to the north, the state was buried in thick snow. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest.
In the burn-scarred hills of Southern California, rain like this is a problem. More importantly, the mud that could come with it.
We have fires all the time, we have mudslides, but nothing as apocalyptic as this.
An atmospheric river is dumping on parts of the state that only a few weeks ago were ravaged by wildfires, the flames burning away almost any vegetation that would have held the dirt in place.
That's the concern, that it would come down the street.
About 1,000 people around the city of Sierra Madre were under evacuation orders as heavy rainfall threatened to create dangerous mudslides. Crews have raced to put sandbags in all the fire zones.
The mud's come down heavy. I don't think it's going to stop it, but we're trying to do what we can.
Overnight issues already in Altadena, where a utility van got stuck.
I was like, wow, I just got my shovel and started helping them out, trying to see if I could dig out the mud.
This LA Fire Department vehicle got swept into the ocean. The driver escaped with only minor injuries. Meanwhile, a major snowstorm stalled traffic in parts of Northern California. Whiteout conditions making it almost impossible to see on the roads in Truckee. Some, though, able to take the snow in stride.
You kind of just got to roll with it and enjoy it because it's kind of magical in my eyes.
Back south in Altadena, this couple whose home survived the fires is once again on edge.
Now you have a second potential disaster that you're facing.
Lingering concern for many who've barely begun to rebuild. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And more video from that system out of California. Take a look at this. Those burn scars, of course, no match for the torrential rain. Officials say mudslides closed some portions of the Pacific Coast Highway yesterday. The famous Duke's restaurant was among the spots affected. Officials also say debris flow in the Hollywood Hills dumped around 8 inches of mud on Holland Drive. Also from this system, rain affected a Smart and Final grocery store's roof that collapsed as that storm pushed through Southern California. The collapse happened while the powerful storm brought heavy rain to much of Los Angeles County and the surrounding areas. Those wet conditions prompted the National Weather Service, of course, to issue several flash flooding and severe thunderstorm warnings for the LA area. Meteorologists described it as the largest storm of the season, bringing heavy rain to the area, getting 1.5 to 3 inches by the time it was all said and done. And the foothills, well, they could have received 3 to 6 inches of rain. And like you saw there with the snow at the end of that story, further up the coast, well, a portion of Interstate 84 outside of Portland, Oregon was shut down after 20 cars and trucks, well, involved in a multi-car pileup amid whiteout conditions. You can see the aftermath of that impact from this video here. And finally today, let's check out some other video into us here at 10 TV. Take a look at this unbelievable moment. A father witnesses son swallowed. That's right, swallowed, then spit back out by a humpback whale. It happened when they were kayaking in the icy waters off Chile's southernmost Patagonia region. That's like an animated Disney movie childhood fear. I forget which was the someone swallowed by a whale and something. Of course, you got the Jonah story. That's insane.
You have not had a bad day until you've been swallowed by a whale.
I mean, that was always something that, like, you've seen stories about, but I don't think you've ever actually seen come to fruition in real life until this video here.
Jeez.
That's crazy. Definitely don't want to be there. And sticking with Chile, some more positive news from a zoo that celebrated Valentine's Day by engaging its animals in special enrichment activities on Thursday. The zoo's veterinary team prepared heart-shaped snacks such as blood popsicles for the lions and apple treats for the giraffes to stimulate their natural behaviors. According to Sebastian Siles, he's the head of the veterinary department. Those activities keep the animals active and enhance their well-being while promoting social interaction. Everybody getting in on the holiday.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Any plans for you this Valentine's Day, or just hanging out, getting out of work?
Oh, I got plans. I'm just not saying them on TV.
There you go. That's the smart way. I surprised my wife this morning with some gifts, and then I work tonight, so we got plans next Monday. So.
All right, there you go. It's going to be a great weekend. All right, that does it for us here. Sorry, on 10 TV Plus. Jerry Martin's back here at 6 o'clock.